Hello, Mr. Leaf.
Hello, Mr. Romanus.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
It's been too long.
It has.
I missed you.
I missed you too, man. And here we are, back in the stew, ready to give him another one.
Back in the saddle.
Yes.
I love to see it. And because it's been so long, I wanted to do something new for the pod. Because a lot's happened since the last time we recorded an episode.
I think so.
And I just...
What's the last episode we released, even?
Oh my god, I can't even remember.
I'm not even doing research on our own.
40-Year-Old Virgin, maybe?
Yeah. Is that the last thing that we had?
That's the last one. And we...
That's what people are... That's where we left everybody off on.
And we... overpromised because we said we were going to release like Valentine's Day episodes, and then
my bad.
No,
we recorded some other stuff, and I'm sure it'll see the light of day. But we also talked about like Captain America and the Monkey back in February, and I kind of dragged my feet on that too.
Wait, did we release the Captain America episode?
Nope.
Oh no, I thought we were funny then.
No, it's pretty funny.
What? Oh, so no. Whoa. Then it wasn't that funny.
No, I thought it was funny. It was just like we were tearing into that movie so much, and I was just like, oh boy.
But you like the Monkey.
I did like the Monkey.
Did we review it?
We did review it.
I forgot about that.
To be honest, I forgot about it too, though. It's like you didn't like it, I liked it, and yet we both forgot about it.
So then let's just not release those episodes.
Yeah, whatever.
I might listen to the Captain America episode because I thought I was entertained.
That was a fun review. I enjoyed that one.
Okay, I mean
maybe I'll release it as a precursor to Thunderbolts or something.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we did talk about this, by the
way. I mean, but are we supposed to review Snow White?
No.
Are we supposed to? I mean, Mickey 17 would have been...
That would have been good. I wanted to check that out, but I missed it.
But obviously, we just weren't excited to see it.
No.
Right? Like...
I think we were going pretty hard during, like, the third quarter of last year. And I think we were kind of burnt at that point.
Maybe.
And because those first few months at the start of every year, there's not a lot of, like, high-caliber films or highly anticipated films that are coming out. I feel like, despite there being a few things that we wanted to see... we just didn't feel too inspired to really put any more effort than just going to see them. You know what I'm saying?
And at the Loose Leaf podcast, we believe in quality over quantity.
I would agree.
Yeah.
As the film industry should take notes from.
Oof.
But
well, speaking of the movie industry, I have 3 topics for you. And your test, Mr. Leaf, if you choose to accept.
I do.
Is to choose one topic that you find interesting, and then you can elaborate on it for as long as you want.
Okay. I like that.
Okay, you do. All right.
I'm into this.
So just let me read the 3 topics.
Please.
And then from those 3, you can decide which one.
Okay. And are you going to chime in on this at all? Or?
Perhaps.
Okay.
But this is, I know how much you like to talk.
That's true.
We all know how much you like to talk.
Yes.
So, and,
on this podcast, that's true. Anybody that knows you in person knows you like to talk more in person.
Oh, me?
Yeah. No, the other person sitting in your seat.
Oh gosh. you see what I have to deal with, everybody. This is how I know. If you haven't seen this for a while.
We've been gone for a couple of months, and yet here you are still. So
fuck you. Anyway,
happily.
First topic, the Minecraft movie opening box office. Second topic, Honora's success in the Academy Awards.
Okay.
Third, final topic, the release of the Avengers Doomsday cast.
Oh man.
Which topic? And by the way,
there's 2 good ones here.
We're throwing out the... Well, you know what?
I didn't really see anything about the Minecraft movie, so I have no opinion on that whatsoever.
Well, so we're not talking about it. So I'll just say that it did gross $167 million the first weekend.
Jesus, what was the budget?
I think it was probably...
It had to have surpassed that. It couldn't have been that expensive of a movie, right?
I think it was like 80 million.
Jesus.
And so if you...
People really went to see that.
Well, I mean, I guess we're talking about the Minecraft movie.
I don't want to talk about it because I didn't see it.
Well, that's why I chose the topic.
The other topics are way better.
I chose the topic specifically because it's more interesting than just the title itself.
Sure.
We could dive into it, but I'm getting ahead of you. Between the two topics, which one do you want to discuss?
Oh, this is good. I think I want to talk about Anora.
Okay.
Anora's win. Like, we could definitely go in on the Avengers thing.
Right.
But I mean, we're probably going to review Thunderbolts at some point next month.
Sure.
So maybe we can talk about it at that point, because the Thunderbolts are going to have to do with that cast anyway. So Anora won Best Picture at the Oscars.
Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Director.
It swept all the big awards.
Original Screenplay, Film Editing, Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
It killed.
It really did good. And it was kind of a late sweep, it seemed, for it, where it wasn't winning a lot of... I didn't watch the ceremony this year, but from what I was following on like Twitter, it wasn't winning a lot of the first awards that were being handed out of the night. That at the end, it just came in and just swept over the night. And I think that's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. I think it definitely deserves it. I think it's a good... I don't even want to say good enough, but it is a good Best Picture winner. It was up against maybe a couple other movies that I would have expected or would have rather seen win Best Picture, but I think this is a really good, solid not even middle, just above middle ground. And just knowing that Mikey Madsen won, that was fantastic to me. I'm glad that it won Best Editing, because when I was thinking about that category, I was like, all the other choices in this category, I think Anora deserved that the most, and I'm pretty sure Sean Baker does his own editing in his movies too, so he just took a lot of awards personally that night. Best Director, that's really cool as well, and just went for Best Picture. And a solid follow-up to like when Oppenheimer won Best Picture last year, where that one... it completely deserved it more than pretty much everybody it was going against, but it was also kind of the obvious answer at the same time, where I'm like, it was a great year for movies in 2023, but everything it was going up against I don't really think stood a chance. The competition was a little steeper this year, so Anora coming out on top was good. I thought that was a really solid win, and it won the Palme d'Or award at the Cannes Film Festival last year, which... famously, a lot of the films that win that award at the Cannes Film Festival go on to win Best Picture. So they're still on brand, looks like. So I want to go to Cannes one year, see what they got cooking. They just announced their lineup this year too. Yeah,
the new Mission Impossible movie is supposed to be playing at Cannes.
That's probably gonna be like the Furiosa of this year's Cannes, where it's like the big blockbuster film that they're really gonna show. But they got the new Ari Aster film coming, which I didn't even know that was going to come out this year. And immediately knowing that it's going to come out this year, that shot up onto my top 10 now. So I'm pretty hyped about that. And then Spike Lee's Akira Kurosawa film remake with Denzel.
Wait, which one?
High and Low.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's doing it with Denzel. He's doing a remake of that.
Is the trailer out yet?
No,
or?
There's a couple of stills that just came out with this promotion for Cannes. But
and I guess it's supposed to release next year or later this year?
No, I think it's going to release later this year.
Oh my God. This year's I'm kind of excited for a lot of
this
these
is
movies.
The thing. This is probably a good starting point for us to really get into what this year has in store, just because it's been a slow start to the year, but I really do think that come the start of May, we're going to get at least one film a week that's going to be worth talking about. I think the frequency of just good filmmaking is going to increase, and I'm excited.
Yeah, because you were a bit disappointed with the movies last year.
Yeah, I wasn't really that big on last year's lineup, and I'm probably going to backlog a little bit when the year is over and catch more movies within these first 3 months that I didn't see, or at least try to start doing that as soon as I can. Now's probably a good time before it gets too busy for us to be able to like go back and watch movies that we had missed.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to this year, and Anora winning Best Picture is just like, it's a good start to like how like film watchers and filmmakers are seeing the film industry right now, because that was a solid win for a film that deserved it, and I otherwise would not have thought it was going to actually go on to win Best Picture. I think it had a chance too, but so did a lot of other films in that category. So it was a good one. It was a good win. How about you? How do you feel?
Well, it was my favorite movie of last year.
Yeah.
And I believe I told you that the lead actress was going to win Best Actress. I was not expecting it to do a sweep of all the important awards. Right. That was shocking. But I'm happy for it. I'm happy that a movie like that can succeed, that it can stand up against big epics or like just like very
stood up against the Dune movie, Wicked, the Brutalist,
the Brutalist, which I would think the Brutalist just looks like an Oscar movie. It looks like one of those Oscar baity movies.
I thought that was my number one film I thought was going to win Best Picture.
Anora, to me, it just had the vibe of something fresh. Like maybe like I could have seen. Maybe I don't want to go too far as saying like it being someone's first movie, but it almost feels like a small studio production movie, and I like that it stood up against all these big budget epic movies like Dune, like The Brutalist.
It's one of those films where if you're trying to kind of induct yourself into the independent scene of movie watching a little bit more, that's a really good starting point.
Yeah, I will say that I have talked to a lot of people who feel like this is one of the more boring Best Picture nominations in a while, just because there's just a lot of people that feel like Anora's overrated. I don't get that sense.
Yeah, I don't.
I immediately fell in love with this movie after
instant love for me.
I saw it twice in theaters.
So did I.
Right? Yeah, like it just.
I watched it once on Hulu when it came out on Hulu.
Yeah, is it out on Hulu?
It's out on Hulu now.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And I enjoyed watching. Like, to be honest, I was only gonna watch like the first 15 minutes and just be like, I'm gonna put this off for a bit, and then I'm like, nope, I gotta watch this whole thing now. This movie's too good.
I'm gonna get me about a Pinot Noir and watch some Anora.
I think that's a good Friday night.
Yeah. No. Okay. Did you like this segment?
Yeah, man.
Okay, let's do it more often.
Should we do? Yeah, let's do. We're gonna do this segment more often.
Okay.
What's so fun about this podcast is we just kind of come up with things on the fly, and anybody that's listening gets to just have a front row seat to that, which would otherwise be a lot of behind the scenes shit that people don't really hear. But we're authentic.
We try to be.
Yeah, we say something stupid. We're not gonna cut it out. We offend somebody, we're not going to apologize.
Oh, well, we've definitely cut some shit out.
No, yeah, we've cut we're not perfect out there, everybody.
I will say, no, you're a brother, because it's mostly been me that's asked you, please cut out what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, if there was something that I wanted to get cut out and I knew I was going to cut it out because
you wouldn't even say anything.
So because I said it, what use is there to tell you that? It's like the worst thing, the problem I would have with that would be if that you listen to the final cut and then you're just like, how come you cut out this thing you said? I didn't think you would notice that. I didn't like it.
Fair. I mean, look, it happens.
It does happen.
If you have the power, then use it.
Yeah. What else is it there for?
Right?
Don't be like the 1%. You just hide your money and do nothing with it.
Oh God,
I don't know.
We're becoming political.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not political. It's just a fact. Well, we're about to talk about the 1% today, so
I guess that's true.
It's kind of I completely planned this out, by the way.
Perhaps a lovely segue to our introduction.
Perhaps. Well, it's good to be back. For anybody listening for their first time, or for anybody coming back now, my name is Davis Leaf. I'm here with my co-host,
Romanus.
And this is the Loose Leaf Media Podcast, and today we are about to recap the third season of The White Lotus. Hold up, let me do something.
You really just did that.
That might get cut, but we'll see how it sounds on the other.
No, keep that in. I'm saying these are my producer notes. We're keeping it in.
Oh, no. I got to listen to the executive over here.
Hey. Well, co-executive.
Well, I'm not the producer.
Oh,
so
fair.
Sole executive.
That's right, baby.
So, we both were watching this season as it was airing every single Sunday on HBO Max or whatever the fuck it's called these days, because they change their name every 6 months. And you've seen all 3 seasons, right?
I have seen all 3 seasons.
So have I. I didn't tune into the first season when it aired, but I caught it shortly after it had finished. Then I tuned into the second season when it aired a couple years ago. Almost 3 years ago now.
It's been a while.
The gap in between, this is getting ridiculous, I will say that. But the gaps in between seasons is just out of control these days. But we got the new season now. We tuned into it. And to be honest, to me, it was worth the wait. I thought it was terrific. I loved this season of television. I'm still kind of gathering a lot of my thoughts with it at the same time, because I've been watching a lot of fucking TV these days. And that's probably part of the reason I haven't been to the movies that often lately, because TV has been kind of serving as a solid placeholder for when more movies than I'm really anticipating are about to come out. And a lot of the shows I've been watching lately I've been anticipating for a while, and this one was one of them. This kind of kickstarted this year of TV. I don't really think I've heard a lot of people talking about this show more than any other, except for maybe Severance on Apple TV Plus. But this has been a pretty hot topic in conversation when it comes to television for the last several weeks. And how did you feel about season 3?
Well, Davis, I am sort of indifferent to mildly disappointed in season 3, and I did enjoy seasons 1 and 2 for different reasons. Season 1 was it brought a lot of the laughter. Like out of any of the 3 seasons, I think most people would agree that season 1 was the funniest.
Yeah, I would agree about that too.
Season 2 was much different in a way. There was still some laughs, but I would say that it really struck a chord with me with a lot of the themes of fidelity and trust and relationships, femininity and masculinity, sexuality.
Sexuality was a huge component in the second season.
Yeah,
and a lot of those themes I would say carry over in this one too.
I would agree with that, and I would say that in the first 2 seasons, I did feel like there was a lot of depth to maybe not all of the characters, right? Like you can't make every character a main character, but I like the progression of characters, even if there wasn't a lot of character growth. I still feel like they went through some trials and tribulations.
Sure.
This third season, I felt like it was the weakest season as far as pacing, and as far as certain like plot holes or certain like narrative decisions that to me, like, why would this character make this decision? Makes no sense. And I just expected a little more out of White Lotus, just because the first 2 seasons were so strong. But it was still entertaining. I still, was checked in every Sunday. And it just wouldn't get my highest recommendation for watching it like the first 2 seasons. Like and I remember telling you at the beginning of this first season, like, I was so emotionally drained by the second season that I was debating to watch the third season. And then, of course, I lied, and like the next morning after, right? Like Monday, you texted me after that first episode. You're like, "Hey, did you see Wallace?" Like, yeah, you fucking know. I did. Well, and like, yes, everyone I know.
It's good television. Everybody was watching this show. It felt like that, at least.
This is one of those rare shows in these past few years where you will feel left out in your friend group,
tuning into it,
right?
And you will actually feel the FOMO of it. Like, I know a lot of people that were watching Severance and talking about Severance as well, and I didn't really feel nearly as left out from that, because I've tried Severance and I've seen the first half of the first season, and it's really good, but it's more of a commitment than something like this is. Like, and I feel like I could only really fully appreciate Severance if I actually sat down and binged through an entire season in a day. Like, fully just engross myself into everything that that series is doing. Where this felt like a weekly thing that I could return to at ease and enjoy.
It's definitely easier to digest than Severance. I just finished the first 2 seasons of Severance, and I really enjoyed it. I related to it quite a bit, actually. But like, the nice thing about White Lotus is that you probably could watch any season of White Lotus and in whatever order and still get it, right? Like,
for the most part,
right? Like, it doesn't.
There's certain threads that carry over each season, but they're very loose, and they're never like the main topic that's happening. Right.
For sure, it's the emotional struggles that certain characters are going through, like their insecurities, trust issues, relationship dynamics. And they're like, I don't want this to be misinterpreted. There are some interesting things in this season. It just doesn't feel like it just doesn't feel like a lot of these characters are as just wrapped up tightly as I'm used to in this show. But
see, I've heard some people say similar things in regards to that, and I think a common criticism I've heard throughout this season is that a lot of people do think that this one is progressing too slow, and I never understood that. I still think that this season has the exact same pacing as the first two seasons, and pretty much everything is hindering upon what's going to happen in the finale. And because it's like, really, there's a lot of things that will happen in between then, but it pales in comparison to wherever it's all going, because it's a murder mystery structure, essentially.
Right.
White Lotus is good because at its core, it's really a straight character drama with the framework of a mystery thriller, and obviously a lot of dark comedy in there too. And every season starts off, somebody's going to die, and it's just all a guessing game as to who's going to die and who a potential perpetrator of that death is going to be. And I think this season hones in on that concept stronger than any of the seasons have so far. I think it was more important because a lot of this season particularly has to do with death and how characters are grappling with the notion of losing everything in their lives or regaining it. And more so like the dichotomy of death, purpose, and closure specifically.
And in that, I would throw in identity, right? Because even if some characters aren't actually dying, by the end of the season, there's either the beginning of the end, i.e. like the beginning of the life that they've known, or they actually died. And there's some interesting things, like some people are going to be, some characters are going to be more upset at this end. Other people seem to be happy or on some track.
Yes.
But either way, like, you do get a sense in the finale that all these characters have gone through some change. I just, the middle of it, like, they're just, in each character, they're just a gripe that I have.
Sure.
And we can,
I'm interested to hear what those will be.
I mean, I could probably talk about several characters that do kind of bother me a bit. Like, there's, but if you have a list, let's go.
I don't have a list, but like, so everything in this series is splintered off by different like character factions, essentially.
Right.
And it's like you have certain groups of character, and maybe they'll intersect and maybe they won't in this series. And that's just kind of how it goes. But that's part of the enjoyment and the mysteries, because you never really know what's going to happen. And so I guess to start things off, we can talk about the main one, I guess, Walton Goggins and the Amy Lou Wood, their story.
Sure.
So overall, I thought this, like, I think we're on the opposite end a little bit. I thought this was personally the best season. I thought this was Mike White. I thought this was Mike White at his, like, most pristine, most contemporary, and strongest character writing. And I'm always going to respect somebody that writes an entire movie for their series finale, which it was an hour and a half. It was an hour and a half, yeah. I loved that. Yeah. It was a great night of watching a television show. And
it didn't feel like a slog. Like, I will admit, the season finale felt like it was basically
it was engaging.
It was engaging. It was basically two episodes, so long, like it was basically 9 episodes in the season.
But I think overall, though, we'd still like recommend this series.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, I definitely recommend the series. But so for that reason, like, we're probably gonna get into some spoilers about this. But I thought it was great. You enjoyed it?
I mean, yeah, I enjoyed it, but just expected more.
Sure. Yeah.
But again, like, I think it's hard to satisfy everybody.
That's real.
With a show like this. And it's okay that two people saw it with, fairly similar sensibilities, and they walk away with two different conclusions. Like,
what's funny is that I was watching 3 other shows at the same time, 4 if you count Abbott Elementary, but that's just the
a little different from White Lotus.
Yeah, that's the background one. But this is definitely my least favorite of all the shows that I've been watching right now. Okay. But I still think it was really, really good.
Right. So Abbott, I got to check out Abbott Elementary. Apparently, it's really good this season.
It's really good this season.
Okay.
But also, still, it's just that one's just above this one.
I see.
But television's been on a roll for me right now.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get into some spoilers.
Let's do it.
So, Walton Goggins, Amy Lou Wood, Rick and Chelsea
Yes.
are their characters. Great characters, great performances. I don't really have anything bad to say about the acting, for starters, in this. The acting is absolutely astonishing across all boards here.
I couldn't agree with you more. Especially Walton Goggins, he usually is a comedic actor. You know, he's been in a ton of stuff like The Righteous Gemstones and Vice Principals.
Couple of Tarantino movies.
Right? Yeah, he has been.
Yeah.
And
he's been in a lot. He's been a solid character actor for a long time.
He's very serious in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he has some great acting chops. And it's not, it's sort of, not stoicism, but definitely he's a tortured soul.
Very much
like
so.
He's in this beautiful resort in Thailand, and you know
he's like a grumpy old man, but he's still younger than you'd expect him to act.
Yeah,
in that sense.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful young girlfriend that's like, she's like chipper. She's like, you know, bouncing off the walls, like, and everybody's in love with her.
Their chemistry is kind of insane throughout this entire series.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fucking funny.
It is funny because I don't know how I can explain this character dynamic other than like he's a stick in the mud and she's like walking on sunshine all the time,
literally.
and she like people
it's just like hey there, Mr. Grumpy Pants, and just like trying to force a smile on his face. It's like it's that kind of energy between the two of them.
Well he is there to find the guy who has killed his father.
He's on a revenge quest.
He's on a revenge quest, and Chelsea is this young woman that looks at him and sees him as a person that she can heal.
Yeah,
you know,
like she's trying to fix him, essentially.
And really the main quest is him trying to figure out who this man that murdered his father before he was born, and his mother on her deathbed told the name and where to find him. And it turns out that this man is married to the owner of White Lotus, Thailand. And of course hijinks ensue because it turns out that Rick is some sort of assassin. And
they never like explicitly say it in the entire series, which I'm glad to, but it's kind of implied he's like a hitman of some sort.
What I mean, yes, I found it entertaining. But we're in spoilers, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's just get right to it.
Let's talk it.
Okay. I was okay with this storyline up until I think the 8th episode.
The last one?
Oh no, the 7th episode.
Okay.
Where he actually finds a way to infiltrate the owner of White Lotus Thailand's home, where he's gonna meet her husband, the man who he suspects killed his father. He is in the room with this man alone, pointing a gun at him, and he sees that the man is old and decrepit, and almost feels terrible for him. And so he has a change of heart, decides to push the guy out of his chair.
Crashes out.
And just walks out, like gun in hand, and leaves. Okay. Why the fuck would he go back to the hotel where he assaulted the husband of the manager? Like, wouldn't you call your girlfriend that's at the manager, Chelsea, and say, hey, meet me in Bangkok. We need to get out of here as soon as possible.
I can't lie, I did think about that in the last episode at one point.
Yes.
When he came back there.
Yes.
And he's just about to grab breakfast, and he just sees him, and he's really surprised that he sees him. And I'm like, why does he look so shocked? He owns this hotel.
If you're this assassin...
And it was also Scott Glenn that was the husband.
Yes.
Shout out to Scott Glenn, because that was a nice... there are a couple of cool cameos in this, and he was one of them, and I was just like, oh, no shit, there's Scott Glenn.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's great. He's been in a ton of movies.
He's been in a shitload of movies throughout his life.
But I will say he was perfectly casted because they do like have similar builds. Like it turns out that Scott Glenn is actually Rick's father. And I could have seen that coming. Like, I saw that coming for a few episodes.
For a couple episodes, I was thinking about that too.
But the real cliffhanger really was, like, was Rick gonna kill this man that could or couldn't be his father, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the real mystery,
Yep.
or that's what we're all anticipating.
Yep.
And that was the first thing that, like, shocked me.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would you go back to the hotel? Are
Yeah.
you crazy? You think that after knocking this man out of his chair, and sneaking into his home to do it and deceiving his wife, that you can go back to the hotel that they know you're staying at and have some donuts and fruit with your girl? I'm sorry that I'm getting intense.
No, I feel it, though.
Okay.
I thought about that at one point, too.
Okay. That's my only issue with that storyline.
Okay.
But, like, while we're going back to the themes, there is a very... The dynamic between Chelsea and Rick is interesting. It just doesn't go anywhere with Chelsea specifically. And like, she's not challenged at all. She really is just a part of his story, and she ends up being a tool to show what Rick's life could have been if he wasn't so dead set on revenge.
Exactly.
And I mean, it kind of is a disappointing end for Chelsea's character specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense, and I kind of, like, when the last episode was about to happen, one of my bigger predictions was that Chelsea was going to end up dying, and she did, and they do a couple of things in the last episode which were pretty solid, but when Chelsea died, I was like, yeah, that made sense, especially when the bullets started flying. But I'm glad we're kind of getting this one out of the way first, because out of all of them, this was my least favorite. I think that it had some of the best moments, particularly with another particular cameo that happens in this. Should we say it?
Let's fucking do it.
Okay, Sam Rockwell. He doesn't he was not billed or marketed as being a part of this season, and then he shows up in episode 5 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Right when Rick gets to Bangkok and tells one of the most insane stories I've ever heard. One of the best moments in this season. But that was a huge highlight for this season, and that story in particular. But to be totally honest with you, didn't love their story that often. I think it was, again, the intrigue of trying to figure out where it was going that was the most interesting part about it. But I didn't find their characters to be that interesting in this series.
Well, I agree with you, because really we're only seeing Rick's evolution in deciding.
Rick is so closed off throughout the whole series, and Chelsea is, like you said, such a ray of sunshine constantly, and they both pretty much remain that way throughout most of it. And Rick doesn't talk much throughout all of it. It's very expressive, and again, testament to Walton Goggins' acting. And Amy Lou Wood does manage to balance that out with him very well, because he would be a lot more of a stale character if she wasn't there to add some sort of charisma to his character. But their story as like a couple was never that interesting to me in this entire season.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's the least interesting story overall for me by the end of it, but it has a solid twist at the very end.
I mean, to me, it's the most entertaining one. Well, I don't even know if I can say that.
Yeah.
I like Chelsea a lot. I gotta be real with you. I think she really came off the screen really well.
Amy Lou Wood's performance is fantastic.
She was really good.
Chelsea was an annoying ass character.
I just wish that they gave her more to do instead of be Rick's maybe only redeeming characteristic. Like the whole really, she's there to say to people, oh, like, he's old and balding, but I love him because, you know, he just underneath all of that, he's a sweetheart and like, yeah, but Chelsea, there's just nothing for you in this show other than to be killed at the end. Yeah, like what? Tell me. And what Chelsea goes through.
It just got frustrating to me after a point where I'm like, okay, I don't think this is going to change at all. It got to a point where I was like, I actually kind of want her to sleep with Saxon now, because I need her to do something in this season.
And she does nothing, and I thought that it might have gone there too. She definitely was uncomfortable with being alone with Saxon.
And I give Mike White a lot of grace, just because it's like he doesn't like assassinate her character that way by making her have that decision, but at the same time, this is White Lotus. The characters usually take sharp left turns pretty often in this series.
They do, but to be real with you, besides Belinda, what female character has a significant part in this show?
A significant part in this show?
Yeah. Besides Belinda, like,
define significant.
As in, they.
Because at first I was willing to think of it in the way you were thinking of it, and I don't know if I can because I don't know what you mean.
I see what that's a little vague. And then of course we have the three women friends.
Well, on the subject, should we get into that one next?
Well, I just sure, and then we can always go back to stuff if we want.
Sure.
But I just again I just didn't really like how the female characters were written this season, especially after the second season. I feel like we had a ton of significant. I keep saying that word. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it's kind of ironic.
I'm so confused right now.
I felt
like, don't get me wrong. Megan Fahey and Aubrey Plaza in the last season,
killed it.
Incredible.
It killed it.
Like, incredible acting right there, and their character arcs are so good.
Yeah. I just
see. We can get into it because with the three women,
let's get into
specifically.
It. Let's get into it. Perfect segue.
To be honest, I think I got the most laughs out of their dynamic in this season. Yeah. I thought they were the funniest because, to your point, they were the least significant to this entire season because they never actually end up playing in to a lot of the major things that are happening. It's just their girl drama the entire time. I thought it was pretty fucking hysterical from start to finish because I was like, this is like from the very first episode, I'm just like, oh, they fucking hate each other. They're going to be at each other's throats a few episodes down the line, and I cannot wait to see how this happens. And it's just literally petty drama between the three of them from start to finish. And it's funny. I was laughing quite a bit.
You just mentioned how no matter what was going on in the background of the show, their petty drama was at the forefront of their minds. It didn't matter what else was going on. That is so poignant for the last scene of the show where they are in front of a murder.
Yep.
A murder just fucking happened, right? Okay. The next scene that we see them in, everyone's leaving the island. Yep. They're on the boat hugging each other, and I'm like, you just saw a man get murdered right in front of you, and everything is normal now.
I don't really think that's the point they were trying to make.
It wasn't a point I was trying to make. I just thought it was awkward that like no one was visibly bothered by the fact that they just witnessed people get fucking murdered.
Oh, sure.
I digress.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking that hard about it. So
well, okay. How do you feel about these three characters?
For starters, acting again, fantastic between all three of them. Carrie Coon especially killed every single moment she was on screen.
Carrie Coon plays Lori.
She plays Lori, yes.
A corporate lawyer.
Yep. She is fantastic. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of her acting. But she was fantastic in this. Her chemistry with the other two, wonderful. I love the kind of initial setup in the first couple episodes where it's like one of them goes to bed and the other two just stay behind chatting shit about the other one.
Yeah.
And then it continues that cycle for a couple episodes until it all just kind of comes to a head by the fourth or fifth episode. And so that was a good setup for kind of where it was going. Even though, again, it's kind of expected. You kind of can tell from the jump that they fucking hate each other. They do not fuck with each other, really. They're just being like, hey, how are you? Good. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God. I'm so glad I'm a fly on the wall of this right now because this is not going to go well.
I watched this season with a woman friend, and with unprompted, she said to me, this storyline between these three women reminds me of how me and my friends are.
Oh my god!
Yeah. And I was like, oh fuck.
It's like, so you're like that. You're like really close with one another when you guys are a unit, and then when you splinter off, you just chat shit about each other.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
That sucks.
That's odd. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like a real friendship.
At no point. Well, I agree with you. At no point was I like, I wish that I could be a part of this friend group.
I know, right?
Like,
I'm just like, I'd be fucking looking over my shoulder every second. I'm like, what are they? I would be forced to be eavesdropping because I know that they're saying some shit about me because I'm fearing that. It's just like, what kind of friendship do you want to be in where you fear that that's happening?
Well, one of the first seasons where you see a crack in the friendship is when Carrie Coon is looking out from her room
in the first episode.
It's at the end of the first episode.
Yeah, she breaks down crying.
And of course we don't really know why. Like everything is looked perfect up until that point at the first episode, but then you start to see, man, like this person feels very isolated in this like friendship group of 3 women that have known each other since they were kids, and they all do look very similarly, right? They're all
just middle-aged white women.
Short blonde hair. I mean,
I feel like despite the anguish that they're kind of feeling with their friends talking behind their back, I still thought it was all hilarious because I'm just like, this is so meaningless compared to so much going on in this season, and I also kind of feel like that's the point.
Well, yeah,
it's like over here you have Mr. Rick going on a revenge quest.
Right.
You have the Ratliffs, and we'll get into them pretty soon. And then you have Belinda, and then you have Gatuk and Mook.
Yeah.
And it's like you got all these characters that are dealing with like more real shit in life, and then you have these 3 girls just talking shit about each other, and that's pretty much the depth of their conflict. It's like, sure, the friendship is at risk between the 3 of them and shit, but it's like, wow, that's pretty low stakes for you guys right now.
But at the same time, I felt like their dialogue, their scenes felt the most realistic, right? Like I could see that.
And it's funny
happening.
that you say that because half of their lines of dialogue are fake. Like, they're not ever really saying what they want to be saying.
That's true.
And I think that's what's so fucking funny about it, too.
That's what's funny, but the truth is, like, in some friendship dynamics, you're not really saying how you feel. But one scene that I was like, wow, okay, this was what I was waiting for. This was why I watched White Lotus, is when Kate Bohr, who is played by Leslie Bibb.
I think I know the scene. I cannot wait.
When she reveals that she voted for Trump, and Carrie Coon and Michelle Monaghan are just looking at each other and then looking at her like disbelief, like, how the fuck could you vote for Trump?
That was maybe top 3 favorite moments for me in this season.
Yeah.
That sequence, for me, even for a viewer, that came out of left field. I did not expect this conversation to be happening.
Well, even as the conversation unraveled, because it goes from, talking about their husbands or like their partners.
And then, I'm living in Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, I go to church now.
Yeah.
Yes, my husband is a Republican.
Yes.
Just like, oh, I'm an independent.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, but you didn't vote for Trump, right? Sips wine.
But Davis, in the last year, I have been a part of maybe a handful of conversations like that, right? Like, just it just felt like I was
it was a real conversation.
It felt like I was sitting at the table with them.
The awkwardness of it was so on point too.
Well, and the other thing too, like even just putting yourself in their shoes, you're still on vacation with this person, and you still have like 4 days left or 3 days left.
What am I gonna do? Alienate them for the rest of the trip?
No,
we've already paid for this shit.
Yeah. Well, one of them did, but
yeah, true. Yeah, the famous one.
Yes, but no, like the real issue with their friendship group, right? So they get their first date and they see this very, very attractive Russian man. And Carrie Coon, her character is the only one that's single out of their friend group. And so they're trying to hook her up with the guy. They're flirting with him, like trying to, hang out with him outside of the hotel to like, hook up Carrie Coon's character with this, this man. And it ends up that Michelle Monaghan, who plays Jacqueline, this famous Hollywood actress, who's also married, sleeps with the Russian guy that she was trying the whole like 5 episodes before this, right? To she decides to sleep with him instead of letting her girl get her thing going. What the fuck?
Yeah. See, by the end of this, I'm still like this season really illustrates all three of their deficiencies and like what their shortcomings are very well. But at the end of this, I'm still like, Jacqueline fucking sucks.
Jacqueline does suck.
Jacqueline is the worst out of all of them, and it's clear because like historically they talk about her being the ringleader and just kind of kicking the other two out to the curb whenever something was going to benefit her, and she is still like that. And by the end of the season, I think the wrap up between all three of them is really solid. I think Carrie Coon gives a really good monologue at the very end, and you seem different. You feel differently about that.
You know, I'm conflicted because on one hand, she gives a monologue before the one that you're talking about, right, where she confronts Jacqueline.
Yeah, the big confrontation.
Sure.
Happens.
Yes, the big confrontation happens where they're at breakfast, and of course, Kate. This is some other bullshit though.
Kate's playing devil's advocate.
Kate's playing devil's. Time. So how are you gonna tell me that my friend betrayed me, and then once I confront this friend, you take her side?
Exactly.
That's worse than actually.
Kate also ain't shit in this.
Kate, I mean, she.
We knew that. We knew that since the second episode, but now it's just
we're getting political. Everybody.
Now it's just like, oh, you want to be that person and act like you're like a victim in this situation.
That's another snake move because you may as well not have told me if you were just going to take her side anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Like, and plus she was instigating a lot of it too.
Yes.
It's like she was trying to stir the pot but stay out of it. As she so called.
Well, that really. Wow. I was about to. I want to take this conversation off mic. We're gonna have to talk about this because they're like, because now I'm getting fucking pissed off.
That's why I'm saying this is one of my favorite stories in this season because it's like it's so, like I said, insignificant to the larger stories happening in the season, but there's so many funny moments and crazy moments between the three of them to talk about.
Well, not just that. Like, I can't relate to my father being like an investment banker and being in trouble with the IRS, and then my whole life fucks up, right? But like, we've had people that we've called friends do and say shitty things to us, and so it just puts you in that relatable, like
relatable camp with everybody else.
Yeah. So like they're almost boring, but they're relatable, and so it's interesting. Yeah, it's a very weird.
It's a weird concept between them. Yeah. But solid acting, fun storyline that was happening.
Well, I want to finish it up by saying that, like, even though Carrie Coon, her character Lori, confronts Jacqueline, she ends up having another sort of just conversation with her two friends, talking about how, like, you know, you two have been here my whole life throughout all the trials and tribulations, and I love you in the last episode. And I just felt like, but you also just said that throughout your life Jacqueline has been ruining your life, and this could have been the last straw. This could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, but unfortunately you just have no spine.
That's also kind of on brand for the White Lotus though too.
Sure.
Like, a lot of character storylines don't really wrap up the way that they should. And there's always something that's left unchecked for or unanswered. And pretty much every season does that with at least two of the character groups. Like in the first season, you had Jake Lacey and Alexandra Denario. And they essentially, like, they split at one point, and you think it's really the point of no return because he's taking her for granted and she wants to do something for herself in life. And at the very end, she just realizes she's better off with him because he's got all the money, and she doesn't really know what she wants to do. And it's kind of the same case here. She doesn't really have anyone else, and she's just kind of better off with this despite it not being the best option for her life. And the White Lotus does that at the end of every season, even with the couples. In the end of season 2, there's no reason that they should be staying together, but they still walk out of that place happy now. It's pretty on brand for White Lotus.
Maybe it's also pretty on brand for people. Like, how often are people actually, like, you know, looking at themselves in the mirror and said, I'm going to make a change? Like, the truth is,
like, doing what's in their actual best interest and not what's in their convenient interest.
Right. And also, it's sad.
Yeah, but, it is.
Let's move on.
That's White Lotus. It's a bleak-ass series.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the rat lifts.
My favorite part of the season, actually.
Probably mine as well. Yep, this is my favorite grouping of people.
Just a family, Southerners who are very wealthy.
Yep.
Timothy Ratliff, the father, played by Jason Isaacs, is
incredible performance right there.
Honestly,
all of them are fantastic.
Yeah.
But Jason Isaacs just got progressively better and better throughout the season.
Parker Posey plays Victoria Ratliff, the mother.
Awesome performance as well.
Patrick Schwarzenegger, the son of Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yep.
as Saxon Ratliff.
One of my favorite performances, probably tied with Carrie Coon's performance in this season, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I fucking hated him.
He sucked.
Yeah.
But his performance is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
He makes you hate him so easily.
But also, like, there's a point in the show where he is disgusted with everything in the whole world, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like a completely different person now.
He was the first character that was staying the most consistent in this season, who goes through probably one of the most radical changes by the very end of this season.
Yes.
And I love that character arc for him.
Yeah.
And Patrick Schwarzenegger does it very well.
Sarah Catherine Hook plays Piper, who's the middle child, like, sister of the group.
Piper.
And then Sam Nivola as Lachlan Ratliff, who's the youngest and high school senior who is a bit aimless, and especially amongst a family with a
lot of other things too.
Oh, dude, you know what? I mean, let's just get into it.
Okay.
This family was fucking weird.
This fucked up ass family.
Yeah, and I mean, the story begins as, you know, like, you're seeing all of the relationship dynamics, but Tim gets on the phone and is in trouble with the IRS, and he's asking questions that will make any man's heart sink. Like, am I going to jail for how long? And look,
and his lawyer is telling him, like, you are fucked, dude.
You're fucked.
You are so fucked. Your assets are frozen. The FBI has raided your freaking locations. Like, you are like, if you make a plea deal, you might be able to only go to jail for a few years.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I am not leaving Thailand.
Yeah.
I'm staying right here.
And to be honest with you, I wouldn't say that the other hijinks with the other family members is secondary to Timothy's, like, suicidal ideations. But I mean, his anxiety, I feel like, was the most salient emotion in this show. Like, when he was
so
like,
convincing,
right?
Red in the face,
sweating. He's taking drugs. He's drinking a lot. Like, he
trying his hardest to lie. It's like, even when he's lying about, like, everybody's like, what's going on? Everything okay? And he's like, everything's fine. He's like fighting so hard not to say what he needs to say. And it's great. His acting is great.
It's wonderful. And the other thing that we should mention is that he is in such a just panicked state that he sees a gun just laying on one of the security guards' desks and runs into the security office, steals the gun, and is thinking to use the gun to kill his entire family because he cannot live with the shame of his, you know, being the end of his family's wealth. And
there's a like, just to skip ahead a little bit, there's a particular moment in the final episode where, like, it's literally kind of motifing Jim Jones a little bit, with, like, drinking the Kool-Aid and shit like that,
drinking the pina colada,
colada, and I'll be honest with you, that particular moment was the darkest thing that I've ever seen this series do. I thought that was so absolutely bleak and fucked up. That they would actually go that far as to, like, see him making it, see him preparing it, and everything. And it's like, you know, this is going on in his mind for a couple of episodes. And just when it gets to that moment is so fucking bleak. Like, I was literally feeling kind of ill.
Well, it goes back to identity, right? Like, like, he is known as himself as the patriarch, the wealthy, like, he's the breadwinner. He is providing for his family, and not just that, like, his future, his Saxon is also a part of the firm, and so, like he's getting it from all sides. Like, Dad, if we're not wealthy, I can't live.
Yeah.
Even Piper, who is supposed to be, this
the open-minded one of
the
here.
evolved
Yep.
girl who is like outside
right when she comes back from the temple and sits down at the table and just starts bawling her eyes out and be like, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And one of the funniest nonverbal moments is just Tim's face after she starts breaking down saying like, I can't live like that. I can't live without money. And he's just like, oh, I gotta fucking kill her too.
and it's funny that you said, because he goes and talks to like each family member throughout the seasons. Like, do you think you could live without money? And the wife's like, fuck no.
Fuck no.
Saxon's like, are you kidding me?
No.
Fuck no. The daughter, who you would think is, like the most evolved, she's trying to embrace Buddhism.
Yep.
She lied to her family that she was going on this trip so that she could write a thesis about Buddhism, her senior thesis, when really she wanted to stay there for a year.
She's apartment shopping, essentially.
Exactly. And I mean, honestly, that goes to her privilege, right? Like, the truth is, she wasn't even...
Who can go and just, like, resident live, or just like resident shop in a completely different country like that.
Yes, it's that whole industry. Anywho,
but then Lachlan's the only one that kind of abstains from the notion of needing money to live a good life.
But Lachlan is a people pleaser, and so on one hand, he is
one hand.
Oh. Wow. May I shake your hand?
No, not right now.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna keep that right here for a minute.
Oh boy. I inadvertently made a pun. My God.
Sorry, that was good.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I forget, actually. On
the other hand.
Oh my. Don't ask Lachlan to give you a hand, man.
No hands from that guy.
No.
Get rid of him.
Damn.
You can live without money. You can live without hands.
Gee, damn. And this episode, okay, you're gonna have to cut that. I know you're cutting that. Anyway,
I'm not cutting that.
Oh, jeez. Anyway.
Oh, jeez.
My goodness.
My favorite thing. Your catchphrase.
Is it?
My goodness.
My word. My word.
What is the meaning of this?
My God. I've really fucking forgot what I was about to say. Oh, Lachlan is a people pleaser. So maybe he doesn't need money to live, right?
Yeah.
But also maybe he is looking at his father's face, knows what his father wants to hear, and says exactly what his father wants to hear. That I don't need money, that I love you, Dad, and we're a family. The issue with Timothy is that he's realizing that his family is a lot more fragile than he thinks. Like, if he doesn't have money, his wife will abandon him, probably marry some other
rich person,
right? His daughter, like, she puts on this front that she's
this progressive, open-minded person that's, like you said, very evolved,
and she's not like, and she's just like them.
Yep.
Saxon is Saxon.
Saxon is just Saxon.
Yes. So like at the end when they're on the boat and he says, "Hey, we're gonna make it through no matter what. We're family." Like, the truth is, you almost killed your family because you weren't man enough to confront your own struggles, your own trials and tribulations. Trials, literally. So like. It's all fake.
Yep.
Right? Their family dynamic, maybe Lachlan is probably the only one that sort of gets it, that this, the family's just a cult of personality. Yeah.
And that's why he always comes off very, like, confused and bewildered all the time. Like, he's a people pleaser just because he doesn't ever know what to say, because nothing ever seems to make a lot of sense to him.
Right.
He doesn't know where his purpose really lies or where his place is in this family, and it's bewildering, And
well,
so,
speaking of bewildering, would you like to discuss what you were alluding to earlier?
Nope.
My word. Okay. Well, yeah, I did like the Rat Lips though. I think that they had a lot more of the hijinks, right? Like when oh Jesus.
The Rat Lifts are the most fun in this whole season.
Yes.
Because you never know what's gonna happen with these guys. Mm-hmm. These guys are just out of their fucking minds constantly. Yeah. They're all going through the craziest stuff. Parker Posey has some of the funniest lines in this whole... Everything that comes out of her mouth is just so out of pocket, and I loved it, because it's like, you know when she says something, it's going to be fucking hilarious. Yeah. She's great. And, yeah, I had the most fun with the Ratless, for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, everything just kept getting out of hand with them.
Yeah. Or too deep into the hand.
Whoa.
How many hand jokes can we...
I'm thinking of them. They'll come.
Hand jokes. Yeah. That's kind of a joke.
Oh, God. Anywho.
Let me give you a hand joke. I got...
Anyway. I do want to talk about maybe Belinda next.
Yeah.
What do you think? Oh, who would you rather go into?
Let's just get Gatuk and Mook out of the way here.
Okay. Actually, yes. Perfect. How about you go?
Yeah. We can end with Belinda.
Okay.
I like them. I like the story.
Oh, Davis.
But guess what it does? Almost nothing.
Fucking nothing.
I like them because I like the acting a lot.
They're cute.
Yeah. I like their chemistry. Gatuk is too nice. Fucking Mook is a little bit, devious, I would say at times. But for most of that story is just kind of revolving around the idea of Gatuk wanting this big promotion.
Right.
And he gets it. The end. That's the story.
Well, I
like the tension with the missing gun. I thought that was like a really good side thing that was happening with him too, because it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And it's, you know, the classic Chekhov's gun story where it's like, who's gonna fire it? It's gonna go off, and we know a gunshot. We hear some gunshots at some point, so somebody's gonna be firing a gun. But turns out there's a whole fucking shootout that happens at the end, which was awesome. But
man, it was cool. People died.
It was cool, man.
Yeah.
Gatuk shot Rick and killed him and got a promotion, and Mook finally married him.
We don't know if she did.
No, but he looked happy. He got right in that truck.
Oh God,
with those glasses on, and I was just like, my man looks fresh. Well, good for him.
The sad thing about Gatuk, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Yeah, he's obviously in love with Mook, and he is the security guard, but he's like also Buddhist, so he's a pacifist. So it's a very hard line to toe.
Guy,
he's a very nice guy. Has a wonderful smile. The issue is that he is fucking annoying in this show.
Yeah.
If you're a security guard, why do you leave your gun on a desk with the window open?
Yeah, that's the thing. I know it. Yeah, I was pissed off at that moment too. I was like he's so nice that he's a little bit incompetent.
Well, yeah, and season. And
it's a testament to the fact that he can't guard things for shit.
No,
because he's a pacifist.
Yeah,
because he's not going to confront anybody about anything going on because he can't get involved in conflict.
Nope. He doesn't like to inflict pain or misery on people.
So it's like, why are you a security guard? I don't know. No. That's just where we're at. That's just the plot of the story. That's just what Mike White decided to do here.
I hate it. And then now you're trying to impress this woman who wants to be with an aggressive man. I know she's hot, okay? Be with the woman that likes that you're a pacifist.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, she's just like, oh, look at these big buff former militarized security guards that are guarding the hotel manager and shit.
Look at these Muay Thai fighters beating the shit out of each other. Literally. They're gonna have CTE when they're 45. Like, don't you want to be like them? What? Run away from this.
That's
woman.
What I keep saying. That's what I keep thinking. It's like, dude, you need to get away from her because she's fucking stringing you along.
She's gonna get you killed.
She's leading you on, and she's gonna get you killed.
Also, as much as she's in the show, she offers nothing but to be like a part of Gatuk's motivation.
She doesn't do anything in this whole series.
Well, yeah, like because he says something reasonable where it's like, well, I've spent a lot of time in this industry. If I go do something else, then it's like I wasted my time. Like that is sort of a reasonable conundrum when it comes to his pacifism in this inherently violent job.
Yeah.
But what I did like is at the end of the show, Rick is just killing motherfuckers left and right, man.
Yeah.
He is a great shot.
Yeah. He's clearly an experienced hitman.
Right? Guy Took has the gun and has Rick just like dead in sight.
In his sights. Yeah.
Can kill him, shoot him in the back, and just get revenge for the owner's wife, who is crying on the side, and she's screaming at Guy Took, kill him. But obviously he has doubt in his head because he's like gonna take somebody's life. Like that is completely diametrically opposed to his pacifistic ideals. And so he kills Rick, and I see it as not only Rick's death,
but Guy Took's death.
As a pacifist, as a Buddhist. He's not a Buddhist anymore. He just killed a man who wasn't even armed. So at the very least, he could have just arrested him. But instead shoots him in the back. And now at the end, we see him wearing the shades and the cool black jacket and in the Land Rover, and he waves at Mook, who says nothing. But you should be punching people or whatever. Like,
it's like he kind of makes a deal with the devil at the very end.
Yes,
just to get his promotion.
Yes, but I did
Which like, wow, this is a weird aspiration for a pacifist to have, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so you want to be in a position that would require you to be more aggressive and violent than your own,
right? Yeah, but I did sort of like the.
Well, he can now because.
Oh, fair. I mean, he is a good shot.
He is a good shot. He basically renounced his Buddhism at that point. So
you have to, right? But I did like the symbolism of the life and death of one character switches with the life and death of another character, right? Because even though like Chelsea talks about how her and Rick are meant to be together forever. And they end up being together forever. They both end with the same fate at the end. And that death is caused by Guy Took, who almost gives that future, that forever with Chelsea to Rick, right? Like by killing Rick with Chelsea in his arms, he's giving Rick an out. And Guy Took sort of becomes the man that he wants to be for Mook and his future. So I did like that. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like it was earned.
I know what you feel. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I feel like I thought their characters could have been so much more interesting throughout a lot of this, but the series is very obviously more concerned with focusing on the white people. So it's what it is.
Perfect segue to the black woman on the show.
Yay, Belinda! Woohoo!
You know what? Thank you, black women. First of all,
for real,
Belinda. Let's hear it.
Natasha Rothwell is fantastic in this. She's so good.
Season 1, 2, she's great.
She was great in that season too, and I'm glad that they brought her back. And she has one of the best character arcs in this season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She so she was in the first season, for anybody that didn't know that, and she is kind of screwed over by a character that carried over into the second season, that being Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge's character.
Who you don't like.
I can't stand Tanya. I don't like her character.
I thought she was hilarious.
She's funny, of course. I just don't like her character.
But gays are trying to kill me.
Jennifer Coolidge is a really funny actress.
Yeah.
And she sells every moment of Tanya in the first 2 seasons. Tanya's definitely one of the most entertaining characters, but she's just absolutely insufferable. And almost everything she says pisses me off. Because I'm like, oh my God, I hate you. Anyway, I also never forgave her for the whole Belinda thing.
No, and it
and that's why I really like that Mike White brought back Belinda for this season as the new character that's the returning character. And she, probably one of the first twists in the first episode, encounters Greg, Tanya's ex-husband, who murdered her or had her killed or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, Tanya technically died on her own, but she would have died anyway.
Right.
And that was his doing. So he's bad. She notices him. Her like most of her arc just has to do with her kind of confronting him and being like, hey, I've seen you before. I think you were at the White Lotus location in Hawaii. And it's just this back and forth between the two of them. Like, nope, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. And she gets confirmation, and she's out at this White Lotus trying to kind of like learn their practices to apply to her location back in Hawaii. She meets this guy who is also kind of a practicing massage therapist in this resort, and they hit it off. They have a whole thing that happens, and her son comes out eventually. Zion. And let me just say this: never let Mike White write dialogue for black men ever again.
Man, whenever that guy opened his mouth, I was cringing.
I know. And I'm like, never let him do that again. If that is the biggest short, like, it's personal, sure, but that was one of the biggest shortcomings of this entire season for me, where I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Did Mike White write these lines? He had to. He's the only writer in this season.
He should have gave him the Mook treatment. Just don't say shit.
Just don't say it.
Just don't say shit.
But I'm just like, I don't and it's mostly when he finally becomes a character. He's the first character of the main cast that we see in this season.
Yeah.
And that exchange that he has with the counselor or whoever.
Yeah, she's like meditation.
Yes, the meditation expert, therapist or something.
Therapist,
Sure, she had a good side performance. She had a good minor role too. I liked her acting.
Her facial expressions were really good.
She was really good.
I thought she was going to be a more prevalent character.
I wish she
in the
was,
because
the few moments she appears, her sessions she has with Rick are really good.
Yeah.
But that first exchange between the two, between Zion and her, is really good. I like that. I like that moment. And then when Zion becomes an actual character, like several episodes down the line, his dialogue is so fucking bad, and I'm like, why? No, people don't talk like that. And this is also like, black men don't talk like that. And this is a series that wants to kind of have an understanding of these kinds of things. Because the first, one of the first moments in the first episode with Belinda, she sits down for dinner and she sees a couple of other black folks sitting at a table, and she gives them the acknowledgement salute or like wave. And it's like, it's a funny moment. It's a really nice, funny moment, but it's just like a weird contradiction. And it's like, don't expect white people to always get it right, I guess.
Oh, well.
Even when they're writing a self-criticism series about them.
Ain't that the truth?
But, Belinda's... well, sorry, everybody, but I'm not. Belinda is out there now. Look, Natasha Rothwell kills it throughout this whole season.
Yes.
Her dialogue is really good. She's really funny. She has probably she gives me probably the biggest laugh I had in this whole season. And it's when the guy that she's learning with specifically goes just like, I'm going to show you my practice now. Would you like to be on your front or on your back? Oh, yeah, I want you on my back. I mean, on my front. And she just like messes up her words. I laughed so hard at that moment.
Now she has a lot of great moments.
Her comedic timing is perfect, and I expected nothing less from an Insecure veteran that she is.
Yeah.
To clarify, I don't think Natasha Rothwell is insecure. She's from the Issa Rae show.
Yeah.
Insecure.
I think people...
That's not for you. That wasn't for you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
for people that have not seen Insecure.
Yeah.
It would just sound like I'm calling Natasha Rothwell insecure, which I don't know if she is. But she doesn't carry herself as somebody that does.
Oh, that was handled very well.
As an actor.
Davis. Yes, good for you.
Tolerance.
Right.
And
of course.
So, she has my favorite ending, or well, one of them. Maybe, yeah, probably my favorite ending, my favorite character ending, in which she ends up doing the same thing that Tanya did to her at the very end. And it's a great full circle moment when it comes to this series' kind of commentary on money and the corruption of it. And so I thought it wrapped up really well.
Yeah.
I loved everything. I've been talking about Belinda a lot, so.
Yeah. No, I think this is really a more subtle thing of what I'm talking about, where it's death to identity, right? Because from first season, Belinda's is very...
I really do see that now.
Yeah, like she's this very humble, worker at this White Lotus, right? Like she's, very good at her job. But she is sort of led astray by Jennifer Coolidge's character at the end, where she's, wanting to raise money to like make this spa, and she obviously cares about her job. She's really good at her job. And Jennifer Coolidge, just like millionaire, is saying, oh, like, I can easily invest in you and you can have your spa. And Belinda just has this dream, this that's hanging on this woman's empty promise. And at the end of season 1, you see Jennifer Coolidge leaving the hotel and Belinda's face at the beach waving at Jennifer Coolidge, and just the sense of disappointment on Belinda's face, right? Okay, fast forward to season 3. She goes to White Lotus, Thailand on this just exchange trip where she's learning from this gentleman, Pornchai, who, or Ponchai, I think. Ponchai.
I don't know, man. I don't even want to try now.
Well, porn is, you can't say Ponchai without porn. And literally, I'm looking at his name, and it's Porn.
I don't even remember his name being said.
Ponchai.
Is it Ponchai?
It's Ponchai.
Why'd you say Pornchai?
You know what? Now it sounds like you're saying porn shy.
Porchai?
Ponchai.
Yeah, I said what you said, but you initially said Pornchai.
I definitely said porn shy.
Yeah. I'm saying if you knew how it was pronounced, why'd you say it that way?
Because I was reading it on my notes.
Yeah, I got it right here on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm reading
it. It is spelled Pornchai.
Yeah, but but I'm hearing you now. You say porn shy, like you're
porn shy.
Yeah, like maybe you're a porn actor who
is shy.
Yeah, like you're having
that
performance anxiety.
That's like the last profession you should be shy in.
I think so. I
think this isn't his real name, like the actor's name.
No. No, his name is Dom Hetrical.
Yeah.
I'm sure I butchered that name too.
Can't be worse than Pornchai.
Okay, Ponchai. I don't know.
Poncho.
Anyway, by the way, Ponchai seems very nice.
He's a nice guy.
Handsome man. Yeah. Wonderful smile. It is a gentleman.
I wanted to sleep
Belinda.
with him.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I love you, babe. Don't get mad.
Lachlan did too. Anyway.
Only with one hand.
Oh, God. Man, that Lachlan. The things he can do with that one hand, man.
The things he could do.
He was multitasking.
I saw yeah.
Right? Like the things that he was doing.
Yeah, he was right. He was journaling in one hand.
Whoa.
And
is that your technique? Is like journaling?
Sometimes, I want to remember what I'm doing here.
Whoa. We're having, let's just not.
You're derailing the conversation,
we're
Romanus.
Not. Well, Pornchai.
Yes.
Ponchai. I'm sorry. So Ponchai is just like really like almost a mirror version of Belinda's character from the first season, where right, like she like really cares about his job and is really trying to be hospitable to Belinda, and they obviously hit it off, like you mentioned, like they end up sleeping together. Yep. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, somewhat.
But during this, Belinda is liking the being pampered at the White Lotus, like, and it's very subtle how like
she's getting a taste for the finer things. Like
that, she's not used to being on that side of the business, and she, like you said, runs into Greg, who she is like first looking at him's like, I know you from somewhere, and then she realizes, oh no, like you're the guy who I think killed your wife that I met. And so I'm thinking, dude, I would just pack my bags and leave.
Seriously.
I think that you killed a millionaire and got away with it, I'd be out. Like, because
you've outed yourself of somebody that recognizes them.
Yes.
It's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm getting out of here. Sorry, Pornchai. Thank you. Thank you for the sex.
Yeah.
I'm taking my wacky son who talks like a white man. Trying to talk like a black guy.
Exactly. Talks like a white man trying to talk like a black man. He actually does.
And
fucking Greg is just like, I got $100,000 on the table here to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And there's obviously that dilemma that they have.
Sure.
Zion is saying go for it. Belinda's
Right.
like, hell no, we got to get the fuck up out of here.
And mind you, like the $100,000 is a ton of money, right? It's life changing
Sure,
money.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and Belinda says no at first. She's doubtful, like, I don't know if I should do this. Like this seems crazy.
Yeah.
Why don't we get out? Zion is like, no, like we should talk to him.
Let me finesse this.
Let me finesse this. And it's Zion, Belinda, and Greg talking in a room. And as Zion is talking, I'm cringing. Like,
I'm just like, stop talking.
Stop talking, because
talking.
you're gonna get you and your mother killed.
Yeah, and you don't sound convincing.
No,
like as an actor, or honestly, not even as an actor. It's just his dialogue. It's just the fucking writing. Yeah, for him, it's just so bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's him,
because he's really solid in a lot of scenes.
Yeah,
it's just like there are so many scenes that have such bad dialogue for him.
When he's running away in the first scene of the season,
yeah,
when he's the gunfire,
yeah,
he
that whole first scene with him is great. He's really good.
Yeah,
there.
It's just the dialogue.
It's the fucking Mike White dialogue, which is weird because that's like the only time I was really hating his dialogue in this season.
No, but what was I about to say? Yeah, so I was shocked when they were able to negotiate the $100,000.
That was one of the best moments in this. Was the bank account opening
to $5
the
million.
transition of that.
Yeah.
You don't see the screen, but you see her go on the screen. Her eyes light up, and then it flash cut to this howler monkey just outside screaming.
Yeah,
and it's just like, that's great. That was a good edit.
And you do see the screen, and it's $5,012,000,
implying she had $12,000 in the bank account.
Right,
that'd be nice.
I mean, so that's the thing. Like, you can tell that she isn't. She's like probably lower middle class.
She's middle class,
but she's responsible. Like, she does have money saved up.
Yep.
It's just not a lot. So,
I mean, technically, this retreat of hers is work related. So
exactly,
it's not even a vacation for her.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
then she was probably saving that money for a while.
Yes.
And so it's like shooting that up to $5 million. I was just like, God damn.
Yes.
If I ever opened my bank account and saw any sort of shit like that, I'd be like. And then she has a great line. It's like, can't I just be rich for 5 minutes?
Yes.
And I'm like, dead ass.
Well. So that's when I knew. Yeah, the old Belinda is out.
She's
the
gone.
window. She's
dead now.
She's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that sort of meek character who is trying to navigate this world of the super wealthy and constantly serving them, breaking her back, busting her ass to like put her kid through college by herself.
Another character that makes a deal with the devil.
Yes, and It just goes to show you that everybody has a price. It just happened to be 50 times more than $100,000 for Belinda.
Yep.
And I mean,
he paid up.
He did.
And it was the end of another Faustian tale that is the White Lotus.
And everything comes full circle, just like how Jennifer Coolidge left the island waving at Belinda while Belinda is looking sad on the beach. Panchai is in the same position that Belinda was in season 1, where now he is sort of just grieving the life that they could have had together, right? And the song that closes out is Nothing from Nothing.
Yep.
Means nothing. You gotta have something if you want to be with me. Like, hey, money talk, bullshit walk. Like, she even said, Zion, when he meets Panchai, he says, why don't you move here and open a massage parlor with him?
Literally.
And she's like, he don't got no money either. Like, I can't do that shit. Like, the truth is, it makes sense, right? And of course, dude, like, if there's $5 million in my bank account right now, I probably disappear off the face of the earth.
Same.
Right?
Same.
Like, just
I'm out.
I'm out.
Gone.
I'm shaving my head, and I'm
starting over.
I'm starting over, and I'm moving to beep. I'm going to
with beep, and I'm gonna be driving a nice brand new.
I like, right, because like $5 million, it is just on the cusp of like, I could live the rest of my life off of this,
probably,
or I could fuck it up really quickly,
exactly,
and be in way worse trouble.
Yep.
So you definitely have to be careful with it.
Yep. That's why I'm gonna take a nap.
You probably want to sleep on it.
I'm gonna take a nap. If I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna take a nice nap, get my head right, and I'm gonna wake up and figure out what I'm gonna do now.
Well, she leaves immediately. Like she still has like, time on her like her exchange.
I probably would too. It's just like, take the money and go. It's in your account. It can't be retracted.
Why the fuck are you working? Yeah, quit.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, you can burn every bridge you want.
Literally.
Yeah.
You can afford to.
You could burn a bridge and then pay for another one.
And then rebuild another one and then burn that one down just for fun.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, sad for Panchai. Maybe kill a guy with a gun and then maybe you'll get the
Maybe
girl.
he'll be the returning character in the next season.
I mean, I'd be curious to see if anyone. I would love to. Who do you think will return?
I don't know. It's anyone's guess. I didn't think it was going to be Belinda this season.
Well, that's true. There will be a fourth season though. There's still
like another 3 fucking years.
Yeah, probably. I imagine that these episodes are not easy to produce, right? It's in Thailand,
and plus, for location shooting.
Yeah,
and plus Mike White is writing and directing every single one of these himself. So it's like that takes time to write several movies worth of content for a whole season of television. It's like, you add all of this up, this is a long time. But solid though. Good characters. Just great characters across the board. So fun to talk about.
Yeah, even though, again, my opinion hasn't changed. Like, it's just my least favorite season of the show. It was fun talking about it with you. And debating things with you and
there's a lot,
reminiscing.
White Lotus is always going to have a lot of good talking points in it. And this was good. I'm glad that we did something for White Lotus, because I know a lot of people out there watched this, and I'm sure there's a lot of differing opinions for this season too. Because more than anything, I can understand why this would feel like the most polarizing versus any of them. I mean, they even fucking changed the theme music at the beginning.
Well, yeah, they got rid of the music director from the first 2 seasons.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the new theme. I got used to it after a while, but I was still, in hindsight, still kind of sad to hear that.
I think, like, I wouldn't mind them changing the theme music for every season.
At this point, they might as well do that. Just keep this concept consistent.
I also wouldn't mind if somebody either helped Mike White with the writing. Or just maybe, I hate to even say it, less black people. Because he can't write for them at all. I mean, look, like,
he did a good job with Natasha Rothwell in this, but it's like, also she's a comedian.
Yeah.
So I can imagine that it wasn't too hard to have dialogue for her. I don't know. I'm speculating, but she has good comedic timing, so I'm sure she can ad-lib a lot too.
I mean, look, like, Scorsese could have directed Black Panther, but I'm glad Ryan Coogler did. Yeah. And Ryan Coogler, like, could he have directed a movie like Goodfellas?
Yes.
Sure. But
he's doing it next week.
Wait, what?
Sinners.
Oh. Well, no, but
it's a part gangster flick. So,
it's part gangster flick, but I'm saying, like, but it's black gangsters in the South. Okay.
Blanksters.
Oh, Jesus. Well, you know what? How can I follow up with anything
I don't know.
I was about to say?
I don't know why I got puns today. I haven't been in a very punny mood. I've just been in a funny mood. Let's wrap this up. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I'm glad we did this. This was fun talking about it, but we got to do another show soon because TV is really good these days.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of good shit that we should.
What would you want to review?
I don't know, man.
We'll
get to it.
We'll brainstorm.
We'll figure something out.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But if anybody else has any thoughts, let us know too. You can always comment or send us an email and let us know any questions or things that you'd like us to answer on the next episode. But it's looking like pretty soon here. We're going to get back into recording episodes a little bit more consistently. Movies are getting better. TV's in a good place. And I had a good time today. How about you?
I love you. I'm glad we're back.
I'm glad we're back too. And so we're both glad that I'm tired, bro. I'm tired.
Oh,
we're both glad that we're back.
Yeah.
And with that, This has been the Loose Leaf Media Podcast. My name is Davis Leaf. I did this with my co-host.
Porn Chai.
Nice. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Take care.